space so we can move on in. Give me some space, give me some space, give me some space, give me some space.
Now if a nigga in your face,
give me some space.
You off the Henny, no change.
Give me some space.
Beating bait in your place.
Give me some space.
You need room for the blaze.
Give me some space.
Burn, Mickey make it hot, so give me some space. Turn up the bass, it's an intricate plot to make you rock without the arm and hammer. Disalarm you with the charm, baby doll, make you out your pajamas. Girlie asking for space to spread eagle, and I'ma give it to your baby doll. We can ball in a Regal Buick. Look at my shoes, I just do it. Whatever, mafia spaghetti portobello, play the dog. Baby soft fedora with the feather, pimpin', vested, battery seat pension. 73 antique thing be grain gripping, so give me some space in the street for lane switching.
I need space in this game, so I got my bows in the air. Heavy hitter, bust a nigga nose if he dare. It's blaze on, a nigga that's gon' triple it cream. Whether it's writing rhymes or tripling beans. Flip whips, stack chips, summer to summer. Hit the strips and matching whips. Hummer to Hummer, hit the block in the drop top. Working the lumber, no time for conversation. Baby, slide me your number. What they know about the ROCK stop. So 5 for million. He too hot, bust flows like Bill Clinton. Bust nuts on hoes. Dirty South, keep it crunk. 2002 for sure.
Here we come, one more again. Give me some space so we can move on in. Give me some space, give me some space, give me some space, give me some space.
Now if a nigga in your face,
give me some space.
You off the Henny, no change.
Give me some space.
Beating bait in your place.
Give me some space.
You need room for the blaze.
Give me some space.
Boppers working for dollars, niggas is popping collars, drinking and smoking trees, the temperature's getting hotter. Pimping is in my veins, got that one from my mama. Never sipped in the.
So we have to start just tapping into who we really are. You know, we family, we community, and we have to start getting back there.
Right, absolutely. So there's a couple things. One, I have a confession. To make. We just went live.
Huh?
We just went live.
You just went live?
Yeah. Like I've been recording.
You record?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Okay, so long as you recorded, we good.
We just now went live. Hey, you know
Hello, live. But hey, you recorded it, so they can see it.
Right. They'll be able to see it. But so if you want to go fast, go along. But if you want to go far, go together. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting statement. So allow me to, for a moment, I'm going to take over the screen for a moment. I'm going to take over the screen just for a moment because I'm going to do some pondering, right? Just for a second. Just for a second. Because there's a portion in my book that is dedicated to wisdom, right? And all right, I'll turn it back. Ain't gonna be like that. And in the book, I differentiate between wisdom and knowledge, right? And one thing that I realize about our culture, the cultures that we come from, right? Because we come from multiple cultures. As Nuwaubian people, as African Americans, we can't say, "Hey, I'm Nigerian," or we can't say that I come from the Igbo tribe, or I come from Watusi, or I come from any of these tribes individually, because we, over the course of the past 100+ years, have been intermingled, right? And so as African American people specifically, or I won't even say African American, I'll say African people who are the descendants of slaves throughout the world. Most of them are in the Western Hemisphere, but we have some that were in Europe. Not as many as us, but you know, we're a mixture because they took our ancestors from all over the continent. They didn't just come from
one area.
The Ivory Coast, right? They come from all over the place. And over time, those genes have just been mixing, right? And so now we are, for all intents and purposes, a new tribe of African people born in the Western Hemisphere with a little bit of European blood, right? It's basically who we are. But how did we get to the point where we can't even trust? I mean, because it can't. I mean, is it trust? Is it that I can't trust you to go into business with you, or is it that I feel the need to be in charge because I'm the only one that can kind of really control my own destiny?
I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I think that you have the people that want to shine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the people that have trust issues, whether it's, because you have to think, we in Little Rock, right?
Right.
And so people that know me, they should know that I've always been about my business. But I was also on some BS, earlier. You know what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, people will get a narrative about you. Now, it's a lot of things that they can't say about me, but then it's a lot of things that they can, right? And so, based on those things, I'm not going to fool with her, or I'm not going to fool with him. And so that's based on how they perceived you from whatever period.
You talking about like 10, 20, 30 years ago?
They will go all the way back. Like if I was a rehab crackhead, right?
Right.
They not going to trust me because they're going to say, I remember when you smoked dope. So you just a little, one step away and you can revert back.
You know what, man?
Because you're constantly in recovery. Right. And people like to remind you. So people tend to move away from here. We talking about Little Rock. So if I move away from here and I do the same thing in another place, people don't know me. Right. So all they know is the work ethic. All they know is the trust factor. But because people tend to know you, they draw conclusions based on what they think they know.
And that's the point I was going to make. What people think they know, don't even know.
Right.
Just think they know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you would think, especially when you're talking about business, because it's not personal, right? So whether I like you or dislike you, if I'm doing business with you, there are going to be a couple of reasons why, right? You have a product or a service that I want and that I need. And even though other people may have their product or service, you provide something that is unique and different, right? And so I'm going to do business with you. Or it could be there's no one else to do business with, so I'm forced to do business with you, right? When it comes to going into business with someone, or let's say going into business with someone. Now I have to trust you, right? I have to trust you to be about your. Well, actually, I don't. I don't have to trust you. I have to trust the legal system, right? Because regardless of how I feel about you, I'm going to tell you why, right? I say, look, regardless of how I feel about you personally, as a person, there's a couple things I can count on, right?
A contract?
Right, a contract. So let's go back to the example of 10 individual people operating trucking companies with a $25,000 investment. This is what we're working with. So we got 10 people, $25,000 a piece. Each of them, based on their individual credit and their knowledge or whatever, decide to get into trucking. Some of them end up with box trucks. Some of them end up with vans. Let's say a few of them got actual tractors, right? But each of them not getting a full fleet of vehicles. They may have 1, 2 if they lucky, right? Why not say, hey, man, instead of me operating an individual company in the same industry segment and you and 7 other people, why not we just all pool our resources, create one big company and invest our money into this? And the thing that I can depend on, whether I can trust you as an individual or not, is that when it comes to the paperwork, I can count on that, and I can count on that to go before a bench and to be remediated. I won't necessarily say fairly. I don't know if I want to use equity either, but we'll say remediated somehow.
But here's the thing, in my opinion, you would want to leverage the strengths, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you have to just get to the root of people. And so I have friends that I've been friends with for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
They are not my business partners. Not because I'm not a savvy businesswoman, not because I don't know what I'm doing, but because of what they choose to do. Everybody is not business oriented, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to leverage their strengths. And so when I went in business, like my business partner Katrina, when we opened we've done a lot of stuff together. But when we opened our construction company, I had the credit, right? I had income coming in, but it wasn't enough. She had the income. So what did? We leveraged each other's strengths, and we were able to start a business.
Right.
But the problem with our construction company now is that you have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You have people that can do the work, like we can sub out the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
People can do the work, but they want to do the work and manage the affairs, but you're not good at managing the affairs, which is why we're the general contractor. You're good at actually putting the things together, because I can get there, but that's not my area.
Yeah.
So I'll be operating out of my scope. And so a lot of times people operate out of their scope by trying to do things that they cannot do, but they want to do. And they don't have enough, they have too much pride to say that they're going to do it another way, do it the best way.
Right.
You know, they just want to do it on their own. It'd be a lot easier if we could leverage each other's strengths, but right now everybody want to shine.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And, you know, I struggle with my business with that because I'm literally like out in these streets. I don't have time to be like going live. Look what I'm doing, because like I'm out here really doing it.
Right.
Like I'm not fronting, I'm not pretending. I'm out here. When I'm hosting these programs for these boys, when I'm hosting these programs for these girls, I'm out here and I'm getting it.
Right.
I don't have time to be flashing cameras and trying to do interviews in that moment. Now, it would help if I had, you know, hired somebody, had the resources to hire somebody to do it. But again, it is what it is, so I got to make it do what it do.
Speaking of which, Jamie, I just need to put this out here real quick, just so everyone knows. If so for everyone that knows me personally, you'll know that what was it, last year before last, I took a Jamie, what would you call it? What was that class?
Huh?
What was the class I took? What would you call it?
Look, which one?
The daddy doing daughter's hair class.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the Girl Dad braiding and styling course.
Okay. So, for those of you that know me, if you are on my Facebook, if you're one of my Facebook friends, sometime before my mom passed away, I took a class to learn how to do my daughter's hair, right? Jamie is the one that taught that class, and it was very informative. I came out with a lot of great hair products and a bunch of knowledge, probably not as much as a lot of women have, right? But enough to be able to, you know, braid, twist, and, you know, do all that stuff and part my daughter's hair. So, I wanted to kind of share your Facebook page, Jamie. So I have your Facebook page on the screen now. So this is the Hello Beautiful Wellness Spa. You can find this on Facebook. It's Hello Beautiful AR. AR stands for Arkansas. It's Hello Beautiful, HELLOBEAUTIFULAR. Hello Beautiful. So please check her out. But Jamie, thank you very much. I really appreciate the class. I learned a lot. Right. I learned a lot about it. Yeah.
That class was fun.
It was. It was. I had to share that. It was.
But that was, you know, that was in my element. So, like, I like being an educator.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Life is a learning journey. So, that was just one of the things that I noticed. I know that a lot of Nuwaubian business owners, I'm trying not to use the word black, right? Because as Barack Obama said, black has no standing in law. Right.
Right.
Black is a color, not a race, nor an ethnicity. But that was one of the things that I noticed because I see a lot of people, man. They'll start a trucking company or now some businesses. I think is those things are okay. Personal services and some other stuff. But when you're talking about getting into these or starting these companies that have to compete with these multinational or these national or even super regional companies, then I think that we should be, as a group, we should be looking to collaborate, right? And we don't always have to run the show. I know we all think we should, but sometimes, there may be, someone, if we had $25,000 a piece, Jamie, and we had 10 people, we have $250,000.
Right.
We don't have to be involved with the business, period. We can hire a manager.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a good one.
And you need that.
Right. Because you can't be the CEO and the CFO and the CIO and the CTO. You can't be all these things at one time, man. And those things, a CEO is a worker.
Yeah, and when you're a small business, that you all of those things.
Right.
Like I have been all of those things.
Right. Yeah. See, the board of directors at a corporation, they run the show. They'll fire the CEO. The CEO say, buddy, you
absolutely
this company to the ground, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, ask Elon Musk.
But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But I always say your network is your net worth. And so trying to be with like-minded individuals. So if you want to be a business owner, you can't be fraternizing with people that don't know about business.
Right. Yeah.
At
least not in the
no matter what it is.
Yeah. Because I've always had two sets. I've always had two sets of friends.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah. I got my friends.
Yeah, I had my buddies, and then I had my business buddies.
Yeah, and I got my friends over here. These over here, man, they done did a few things, man. They probably just getting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These over here done did a few things, man.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I call them family.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I think that I'm not going to.
But it's just build it. You have to build community again, and that starts with family, like in the house.
All right. Question.
So that's what like. I guess this would be my my project child. I don't know.
She's the pilot.
Yeah, because I did everything against the grain. Everything that I was doing, people look at it like, even with homeschool, they was like, that girl need to go to school. And it's like, she going to school. She's learning things, that she wouldn't learn otherwise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she knows from being in my business, she knows, hey, you ain't coming in here looking like that. This is a business. No, you cannot do that. And so she knows what it's supposed to look like. So when she received bad customer service, she like, they tone wasn't right, or they clothes wasn't right, or they, she can list out things that she, didn't represent business for them.
Yeah. So, Jamie, let me ask you a few questions, if I may.
Okay.
So,
sure.
How long have you been in business? How long have you been operating? Just because you operate more in the salon. You're not just a barber stylist, right? You're a master barber stylist in addition to a plethora of other things, right? But you had your starts, and I remember.
So far it's been 26 years.
Oh, wow.
26 years.
Long time.
Yeah. And I've shifted gears a few times. But overall, from doing hair to now, 26 years in business.
That is a long time.
So you learn so much, like it's ever evolving. So like now where I struggle with the dynamic of business being social media.
Huh?
And yeah, social media. So like when I first started back in 98, things were word of mouth, right? And so that's how I built my business, through word of mouth. And so as the culture has evolved, everything is social media. So people record themselves doing this and doing that. And it's like, I really be out here. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And so trying to adjust my mentality to get with the times, because, you know, times have changed and you have to evolve with the times. And it's like, but how?
Right. Well, and then
You know.
you're talking about an entirely new generation of people.
Right. Because people are saying, do you have any pictures? Do you have any, well, you saw my client.
Right.
You like my client's hair.
Right.
And that's usually how it works.
Better in the
You
picture.
saw up close and personal, but you still need to see more pictures. And then even with services, you know, it's like the personal care services, the yoni steam and the mastectomy fitting, like all this stuff. It's like, hey, that's what I do. You just don't have to come and try.
Right. Yeah. You doing
But it's
really
just
well,
evolving.
Jamie, and you're doing a lot. When I came into so you know, I had been to the shop several times before I seen the entire shop, and I was like, wow. Oh, and then I seen so I gotta crack this joke. What's that called? The yoni room?
Yes.
Yeah, the yoni room.
Look, that's the multi-purpose room. We doing body sugaring, yoni steaming, massages. That it goes down in that room. Look, and in a few more, in about a year and a half, we'll be doing body art because she'll be doing tattoos.
Oh wow!
Hey, yeah.
See, I already knew that. I'm not even surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
So yeah,
She'll be doing tattoos.
well, I'm doing tattoos.
Yeah, you'll probably be operating a nuclear fission reactor out the back or something.
Yeah, well, we got a lot going on over there. We actually been in that building almost 7 years now.
You know,
And we survived COVID, and that's a blessing.
it is. And you
Because, boy, it wasn't looking good for our home team at first. It's like, shoot.
But you did it. I mean, but
we did it.
You know, great things are birthed out of adversity, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that I'm certain, had it not been for the unpleasant situation of what happened, Jamie. And ironically enough, man. So for those of you that don't know, I'm working on going to law school, right? And so I wrote my personal statement, and it was about that. And the personal statement specific was about finding value in experiences beyond their pleasure, right? Every experience may not be pleasurable for you, but that doesn't mean that it won't provide value to your life. And so I had some unpleasant experiences that were not pleasurable at all, but that provided the most value to me out of all my experiences in life. And so in hindsight, in retrospect, when I think back about those things, those are the experiences that mean the most. Those experiences that if I had to exchange some, I wouldn't let go. Worse when it comes to pleasure or utility, right? The worst experiences are more valuable to me.
Yeah, and I get that because my education background is so diverse, because originally when I went to school, like, hair was not even nowhere on my agenda, right? My parents saw a gift, because I would braid hair, I would, style hair at home, but I wasn't trying. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make that a thing, though. You know what I mean? And so I went that route, but my whole goal was to become an attorney. I was like, I'm going to be the next Thurgood Johnny Cochran mix with a feminine twist. And but when I left Pulaski Tech doing my paralegal stuff, I was ready. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my paralegal legal secretary. I can get in the office. I can work while I'm doing my undergrad. Mm-hmm. You know, I just had my plan mapped out. Then the Gen 6 happened, right? Mm-hmm. Right after the Gen 6 happened, my brother went through this ordeal at Calico Rock. And when I say that was the most traumatic experiences, because I'm watching the system work in a way that it shouldn't be operating, right? I'm like, you can't do that. You're not supposed to be doing that. Like, I'm seeing this with my eyes. And from that moment on, I was like, this system is so corrupt. It needs to be dismantled and rebuilt, restructured, all of that, because this can't be it.
Yeah.
Like, we can't keep doing this. And I got to a place where I was like, God, I'm so passionate about the things that I do. And this is going to stress me out. It's no way that I'll be able to watch an innocent man like that guy in Missouri. Yeah. What was that, last week?
Yeah.
Like, that would have me so stressed out, because how y'all gonna still kill this brother and y'all know he didn't do this?
Well, think about Liddell Lee. Think about Liddell Lee.
It's a long list. It's a long list.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to do that, because I'll be stressed to the max, because this system is bigger than what I'm trying to do. And so it put a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, I'm going to have to find a space that I could fit in. And that's when I fell in love with doing hair.
Yeah.
Which was never supposed to be my thing. Like, that was just like a side hustle. And even that has evolved, because I like the holistic aspect of my services. So, you know, reproductive health, breast health, nutrition, all of those things are what drive me now. But, you know, just the evolution of experiences.
Right.
You know, good things are birthed out of those experiences. Because, I mean, I had issues with reproductive health, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, this can't be it. It got to be something.
I have to let you read my personal statement. Because it's not about experience. I'm going to send it to you. Just tell me what you think. But don't share it with nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I'm not.
But when I do my personal statement for law school, will be copywritten, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's
so,
it's talking.
I commend you.
Huh?
Yeah, I commend you, because, like, you really have to be ready to fight that fight. You know, I originally thought that I would still go to law school and maybe I could do contract law.
You can.
But the whole goal was to do, like, justice reform and criminal, you know, that was my whole goal. But after my brother got railroaded, after constantly seeing things happening, it was just like, I'm not going to be able to do this and keep my sanity.
Right. I mean, but, you know, so one thing that I'm not going to, so I have no intention of going into criminal law at all. Right. I thought about constitutional law, but I don't really want to travel that road either. And then there's a reason why, because I've, you know, in my young adulthood, spent so much time studying those things, right? I don't feel that me going to school for those things is going to teach me anything I really don't already know, other than maybe courtroom procedure and stuff like that. And I'm not really interested in practicing law in a courtroom like that, trying to keep someone from going to prison. To be perfectly honest, I think that every criminal defense attorney out there, well, take this with a grain of salt. Every criminal defense attorney out there if you're trying to defend innocent people from going to prison, the only thing that you're doing is taking your finger and poking it in the hole. That's it. Because it's not going to change anything. Even if you save the innocent person that you're trying to prevent from going to prison, you're only saving that one person. It's not changing anything. And he can become the victim of it all again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that...
And that's what turned me off.
Right. But there's another avenue.
And most people was like, oh, that should have made you want to fight more. No, because this is bigger than what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, and man, there are a lot of us that go to prison that are innocent. There are a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that everybody.
Because the system.
I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, the system, first of all, was designed for us. Let's start there.
Oh yeah, it was. You mean you talking about law enforcement and criminal justice?
Yeah,
it was started for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it was designed for us.
Yeah.
And so.
This is true.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to unpack and to understand.
It is.
How
for those that don't know,
rigged.
law enforcement in this country was initially intended for fugitive slaves. That's basically where it comes from, right? And so when you had enslaved people, human beings fleeing the southern part of the United States, trying to head north on the Underground Railroad by whatever means they can get to places where slavery was not codified. And what I mean codified, what I mean by that is written into a statutory body of law. In the South, right, in the southern part of the United States, I want you to, when you think about slavery, I want you to make sure that you're considering this, right? And we kind of take this loosely. I don't think that we really apply the correct gravity to it that it deserves when I say that slavery here in America, especially in the South, was ingrained into the culture. It was ingrained into the culture to a point where it was codified in the laws, right? And so as a slave, and I hate saying it, but as a captive, right, as an enslaved person, even as a child, you know, someone my daughter's age, my youngest daughter's age, they could be 4 years old and they're born into this oppressive system, you know what I'm saying? Not because they've done anything wrong, right? Just because, you know, we understand what it is. I don't even want to talk. We understand.
Right, just because it was designed that way.
Right, it was designed that way, right? And so she's born into this and she wants to seek liberty, right? And she flees to go to the north. The moment she flees seeking liberty, she becomes a fugitive because it's codified into the laws, the state laws, right, in the southern part of the United States. And then it eventually got to the point when it comes to parity where, okay, well, you were a slave in this state, so even if you come here, if they come looking for you, there's nothing I can do for you. And if I know you're a slave or a slave fugitive, I have to turn you in, even though you have broken no laws, you have done nothing wrong to deserve a life of bondage. You're in bondage anyway.
What was that slave name you had to learn about? You remember?
Was it Cotham Green?
No, not Nat Turner. He was free.
Cotham Green?
Because
He Cotham Green?
She had to learn about that when she was doing her studies.
Yeah. That's where that movie 12 Years Slave come from. It come from a book. Half slave, half free. I read it when I was I found it in the library at ULR actually. You know, the librarian told me, hey, you might want to go check this section out. Because I walked in there with some Malachi Z. York books. You know what I'm saying? In between classes. And she, you know what I'm saying, white lady, she seen it. And she was like, you might want to go check this out. You know, so I walked back. I was like, cool, appreciate you. Walked back there and I found that book, man. And even my Aunt Katie should tell you about that, man. I read that book when I was 18, 19 years old. About the guy that half slave, half free was about.
Yeah, I think conversations that we're not ready to have is how religion affects how we move. And that affects how we do business. It affects how we interact with one another. It affects so many dynamics of who we are.
Everything, because it controls what you perceive to be
the
right
narrative.
and who you perceive to be the creator.
Right. And so that as well hinders our progress.
Yeah. But yeah. You know what, Jamie, I would love to have that conversation with you. I really would. I really would, man. So let me be frank and honest about a few things, because you know me, and you know how I would. Everybody, man, you know what I'm saying, if you think you know what I'm saying, you knew me back when I was in high school, and then I turned to Malcolm Farrakhan. Malcolm Farrakhan, the real you know,
right.
That's the real me, bro. And I was Malcolm Farrakhan back then. You know what I'm saying? Just ain't nobody really know it, you know, but I mean,
in order to be I don't want to say successful, but free thinking and understanding, you have to break some things down. And those are one of the things, like, you can say all the things in the world and people know, oh, I know, but we still have this imagery. So it's like, even when we talk about Jesus, right? Mm. And they give us this imagery of this white guy with this long hair and all of that. And they was like, well, the picture don't matter. It absolutely matters.
It absolutely does matter.
Representation matters, which is why I made sure that her curriculum was African-centered. She started learning about people that were successful that looked like her, so that she wouldn't think that we were the bottom of the barrel type people.
I'm about to drop a
learning history about who we are empowers you.
Right.
And so if you have an image of this white guy, who do you think is supreme? Who reigns supreme?
Right.
The people that look like him.
Right.
And that's how we could fold on each other, but get right when it comes to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what?
As far as business.
As far as everything.
And how we do business.
You know, because you got killers running around the street. They're killing another Nuwaubian person they see on the street. Gun him down because he stepped on his shoe. Because I ain't like, you know what I'm saying, the way dude looked at me. I'm about to murder this dude. You know what I'm saying? But let a European American person come in there, or a cop or something like that, boy, they running scared. So,
get right quick.
Yeah. But Jamie, there's to what you're saying, man, without going too far, because, you know, I got a lot of friends, man. At some point, I kind of, and family members, man, pretty much everyone. I'm the outcast, right? I'm the dude that don't nobody really know what he believe in, man. And people thought my religion was this, and it's not even that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, in the Bible, in the beginning of the Bible, it says that God created man in his image and his likeness, right? Okay. If everywhere you look around the world, any place that has not been influenced by an outside force, right? Or every place before it was influenced by an outside force, you'll notice that in every religion, I don't care if it's the Hindu religion, right, of Indian people, or in that part of the East, or, you know, the Sanskrit and all these things, or in Asia, or when you go to Europe, if you go to Africa and the Dogon tribe, and every corner of the world you go to, their deities, the deities that they worship were always a reflection of themselves, right? So in Africa, of course, the gods and the goddesses, they look like Africans. They like us. And when you go to Asia, it was the same place. You go to Europe,
like them.
Well, Europe is a little different, man, because, you know, I ain't going to even go down that story, the Moors and all that. But
right.
Europe, you know what I'm saying, European deities, and when you come to the Western Hemisphere over here in the Americas, then they had their deities that they worship too. Well, especially in Southern America, you know what I'm saying, in the Central and South America, they had, you know, their deities that they worship. I think the northern indigenous people, even though they worship spirits and deities, I don't really think that they manifested those energies in human form. They were manifesting in things like, you know, animals, buffaloes, not, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's all no. But there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. Right? I don't think that there is anything wrong with any person, regardless of your race or whatever. Looking at when you look at deity, when you think about the creator. Let me not say deity. When you think about the creator of the universe, right, and everything that exists, looking at that creator as that is someone that is akin to you, because that is the absolute truth of what it is, right? Because if you look at my daughters, right, my kids, you can look at them and tell. Well, for people that know me, when they look at them, all they see is me, right? And for the people that know their mother, when they look at them, all they see is their mother, right? And then until they see us together, like, oh. At first, I thought she looked just like you, but now I see her daddy. She looks just like her daddy, right? Because these children are, they are both. They're both. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so,
yeah, because I couldn't rock with this subservient position that they have women in.
Yeah,
that bothered me a lot.
Too.
Yeah, that bothered me, and so, but the more I kind of delved into certain things, I was like, okay, yeah. I wasn't crazy.
Yeah, nah, you weren't crazy, man.
I wasn't crazy. Okay.
Yeah, because it never gelled with me either, man. That's why, you know what I'm saying. Even though I come from a Christian family, man, my mother went to church. She went to church when we were young. We just went to church for Easter and those things. That it was, because that was forced upon her when she was growing up, and so she wanted to force it upon me. And so I enjoyed, when I was a kid, I was real shy, man. We went to where did everybody go to church up there on top of the hill, man? Before everybody started going to Second Baptist, what's the name of that church up there?
St. Mark.
Nah, one St. Mark is on top of the hill. It's up John Brewer, up going towards 42nd, into the left. Like you going towards Catherine. I can't remember the name of the church. But anyway, we went to church there. I can't remember the name of that church. We went to church there. And we would only go, on those special occasions, man. And I had fun when I went. I would listen to the choir. But I never went to like children's church, none of that type of stuff. I always sat under my mother because I never felt comfortable in church at all, man. I just never felt that was the place for me. I always felt like it was something, it didn't sit well with me, the way that it was practiced. And that is not to talk about anyone's religion, because, people in church may think, because the Bible say he who know my name, who's called, they'll know my voice, right? And so, they say, oh, well, he just, man, whatever. Don't really matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it just never really.
Hey, listen, when I had my car accident in 2015, they was like, they thought something happened to me, but I was already having an awakening prior to then, because I had started, I was like feeling miserable, like this can't be it, because, I can't let all this stuff slide because this is the right thing to do. It was just a lot that was just weighing on me, and I was like, shoot, when I was out in them streets, I had a stronger connection to God than now, because this is crazy and stressful and miserable.
What the gospel
says? And so I started. Huh?
What the gospel of St. Thomas Aquinas say, man, God is not in buildings made of wood and stone, man.
Right. And so I was just like, this ain't it. And so I started really delving into our culture. And I started feeling more like home. Stuff started making sense that never made sense before. Yeah. And I was like, aha.
Yeah.
They was like, that's why you had that car accident. Like, really?
Yeah. Because the thing is, right, some things are for other people, they're not for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best way I can put that without being offensive, that some things are for other people that are not for us. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Some things are for us and not for other people. There's nothing wrong with it. Right? But
it does affect how you do business, though.
It affects everything, man, because one, and you said this, Jamie, and and ironically enough, this came up in my place of employment, man, on the survey, and they asked they asked this question. And, I was talking to someone else, and I was like, man, I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if they could say, hey, man, if everybody stripped down to their underwear and walked in the room and say, look, we all standing here naked, man. You can be your authentic self. I could never do that. I could never do it. And when we were talking about the other day, especially when I talked about W.E.B. Du Bois in my book, especially with the dual consciousness, I think that the white people in this country, we all have to live through this every day because we have to be a person in a professional environment, especially if you're not self-employed, right, or working in a business that reflects your culture and your people. You have to be someone else. I don't care who you are, unless you're just like that, but most people are not. You know what I'm saying? Because
the veil. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That you have to wear. And we talked about that movie. What is it? The Magical Negro? Something about the Magical Negro.
Yeah, I gotta watch that too. Yeah.
And how you have to wear this mask, and you have to make people not afraid of you or people comfortable when they don't need to be comfortable. But just to keep confusion down and keep drama at bay, you have to put on this mask that, okay, yeah, it's all good, even though it's not. And so I felt like that was one of the reasons why I had issues, like that I've had issues with my business, is because I wasn't able to be my authentic self. People know me, they know I love to laugh, I'm crazy, I like to have a good time. But when you indoctrinated into this culture, I was in the business department.
Right.
And so it was a certain look that you had to have, a certain way that you had to carry yourself when you wanted people to take your business serious. And so that was the way that I presented my business in the most professional and respectable manner according to what I was taught.
Right.
And that worked for so long, but it's not working anymore. People not trying to see that.
Man,
people want to know who you are.
Yeah. Trust me, I understand, man. For me, I work in corporate America and I enjoy what I do. Right. And a lot of times for me, it's because, speaking, following what you were saying and then speaking on the survey I was talking about, and the person that asked me, or basically told me, be your authentic self at work, I'm like, man, I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? And I shared something.
Not to stay employed.
Right. And I shared something. I stepped out. And the thing is, here's the thing that, like, even when I talk, I shared. So there's a brother that works with me, man. The dude, he's a member of the Divine Nine, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? The brother, he straight up, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, you need to share this story. I talked to him and told him, and dude was like, wow. He was like, look, man, you need to share this story with someone that doesn't look like us, right? I was like, oh God, here we go, man, about to lose my job. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it, man. You know what I'm saying? My T. Jones had just passed away. She was always like, man, if you do right, it may not seem like it at the time, man, but it's gonna, somehow it's gonna shake out for you. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? And I shared with somebody part of my story, and they was like, wow. And I was like, boy. And she was like, thank you for sharing it. I was like, for sure, because she's a very, she's emotionally mature. You feel what I'm saying? And she was like, thank you for sharing the story. But I was like, man, like, that was like, I got a 50-gallon bucket of water, man. I just gave you a shot. And that's why I can't be my authentic self at work, man, because you have no idea what most people have.
And so we operate off of this veil system.
Yeah.
When we in corporate America, when we around our counterparts, we present this way.
Right. Because they don't know
when we at home.
Many times. You don't even know what it took for me to even get to this point to even be able to interact with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So being authentic, yeah. And so like I'm at the stage where I can be authentic. I'm working on it.
You should. How does that affect because you said you couldn't be your authentic self previously, right? But you feel you can do that now. Because to be perfectly honest, you are at the, when you're in business, your boss then is your clients, your customers, right? And they tell you when you're messing up. This is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has an answer to someone. But how does that affect you in business? How did that affect you then? How does it affect you now? And can you kind of like piece the two together and tell me what the difference is?
So at first, you know, like I said, my presentation to the people were like, you know, this professional, and so once you present yourself a certain way, they put you in a box, right?
Yeah.
And once you get in that box, it's hard as hell to get out. And I mean, seriously, because it doesn't matter. They paint you this way, like you are this. And it's like, no, it's so many layers to this, to who I am. Even with, like being a stylist that cater to black women, men and women. You know, it's like, okay, really this is what it is.
Excellent. You show some pictures.
But just having to be professional even with them, because they hold you to a certain, you know, degree. Right. But as time went on and they got to know me, it was like different. So I'm gonna give you an example. So I had been working for a minute, and I was starting to build my clients. Well, natural hair wasn't a thing, really. Right?
Yeah.
It was new. And so I had learned how to do twists. Mm-hmm. And I was cold with it. Do you hear me? I was cold. Still cold with it. But I was twisting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm twisting. And so everybody started, you know, I became a natural hair girl. You know, because I'm twisting and braiding. But I color, I relax, I do all of that. But I became known as the natural hair girl. And of course, there wasn't that many people in the city doing natural hair, so I was like, I'm cool with it. But I remember the look that I would get when people would come in and I had a relaxer. They was like, is JP here? And I'm like, that's me.
You're right.
and they would just be like, you natural, but you got a relaxer? Like, that mask ain't masking. And I was like, I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it's like they had the presentation. They was expecting me to be like, right, you know, natural, power to the people. And I'm all of that, but I had a relaxer, right?
But what Erykah Badu say about that? What'd she say?
Listen, my girl. Shoot. Don't play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you know, they wanted you to present a certain way. Right. And, you know, just with growth. Because I never thought in a million years that I would have natural hair. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Because it wasn't a thing, man.
Because I was taught, I was conditioned that natural hair was ugly.
So, I mean, so was that really the case?
It was. And it wasn't like a thing like that. It wasn't like they were saying it in the house, but like society is telling you that.
Oh, subconsciously. Okay. Yeah, we all got that. I was just trying to make sure. I'm like, was there actually explicit?
Not in my house. Like, no, not in my house.
Yeah, we were all talking, right? But I think
but just being in the culture that wasn't cool, so you start to look at it all kind of sideways, like, nah, that natural hair. And this is how God will show you. Stop running your mouth talking about what you ain't gonna never do. So my brother's homeboy, he had locks. And I was like, I never do that. That is gross. That's nasty. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Whatever. Natural hair. When I say that is how I built up my customer base with natural hair.
Yeah.
But I guess working with it, I found the beauty in it. Right?
Yeah.
And so, just with natural hair, period. It wasn't just locks. I was doing natural hairstyles.
Yeah.
And so, because I think Ryan.
We the only ones with this. We the only people on the planet.
Yeah.
Man. It is, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you condition to think that the way your hair is, something is wrong with it.
Right.
And so, I went with the narrative. But like I said, I started growing up, and then I had her. And she had really pretty curly hair. And I had this long, relaxed hair. And she was like, I want Beyonce hair. I was like, girl, Beyonce wants your hair. In fact, I want your hair. Your hair is so pretty. But I know better. I know that kids don't listen to what you say. They listening to what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so one day I was like, you know, I had the car accident. I had a lot of stuff going on. I came home and I had cut all my relaxer off. And she was like, she looked at my license and she was like, I want this mama back. I want this mama back. And I was like, well, your hair was so pretty that I had to cut my hair off so that I can grow it out so it'll look like yours.
What's up?
It's so crazy because I do remember you saying
So
and so that built her, that gave her like confidence. So she stopped asking me to straighten her hair and everything. And now she rocking locks. And so when we went to Egypt, the one of the ladies, she was like, I just applaud the fact that your daughter is wearing natural hair because I could never, like, growing up, she said, and, you know, I'm just now as an adult woman feeling, you know, able to be in that space with my natural hair. Right? And she rocking it like, I don't know no other way.
man, you know what, man? So I had a statement that I was gonna make, but it really just kind of lost its salt in just thinking about the fact that because you know you say the story about you went to Egypt, man. Do you know that in Africa, in ancient parts of Africa, back in the day, all over the continent, people could recognize your culture, your religion, your region, your family lineage
by your hair.
Get your hair told.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, like
by your hair.
The story of our hair, right, is a journey in and of itself because the story even predates slavery, right?
Absolutely.
It predates written history. We have been doing hair for so long, you know, back before people had books and things like that. You know what I'm saying? These things
they use braids to escape from
identify you.
I said they use braids to escape from the plantation.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. And that's the thing about it, man. Like the cultural suppression, has done a number on us because you know when you think, you know, to keep the conversation in frame, not just to go off too crazy. If we, you know, even in the perspective when it comes to business, right? You know, I've had people add, you know, saying, and we've all had this conversation because we see other groups of people come to this country all the time, and they're here for a few years. They own businesses and everything else. But see, the difference from them and us is that they're coming here with their culture. We didn't have one. The only culture that we had is what was left from us. You know what I'm saying? That was given to us from slavery, man. And so we don't really have a language of our own. We didn't have our culture comes from, you know what I'm saying, chattel slavery.
Yeah, and that's the thing that affects. Yeah, that affects the way we do business too, because I always say that we're navigating in the blind, and what I mean by that is that when we came over here, we had to lose our language. Like, you know, a lot of cultures have taken a hit. You know, don't get me wrong, but not like we have, because you was able to maintain your food. Your language, your music, you got to keep all of that.
Yeah.
We had to learn a new language. You know, it's like, man. And so everything, we're so lost that we try to grab a hold to anything.
Right.
That seem halfway decent. Because we lack that. And culture is really how you thrive.
We'll sacrifice liberty for salvation. Any day of the week.
Yeah. What's your question?
What up, Ryan?
Okay. So my question is, going back to when we was talking about natural hair and like relaxers and stuff, right? You said society taught you that natural hair wasn't the thing, it wasn't a hit. So how did you learn to tune out and block out society?
I'll tell you exactly. So not saying that the same way with your mom, society didn't. Well, not I won't say society did. People didn't explicitly say, "Hey, it's bad to," you know what I'm saying. But you think about it, you're growing up in a community where when you don't have a haircut, people refer to it as nappy. Look at this nappy hair, and it ain't, you know what I'm saying, it ain't relaxed, right? So the connotation associated with those words, one, is negative. Meaning, what I got going on now, it doesn't need to be like this, obviously, because people are reacting to it a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? But
that's even with your education.
Slavery. You know what I'm saying?
And that's even with slavery. Yeah, and that goes back to the education. How, you know, remember we talked about how going to the PWIs made your degree more official than if you went to an HBCU.
Yeah.
You know, and we stopped going to HBCUs and started seeking PWIs because, you know, it was more credible. When in actuality, at the HBCUs, you know, learn more. It was more culture.
Yeah, man, HBCUs are harder. I will say
with the drawback, because as the educated Negro say, you know, we still, even within the HBCU, we're still indoctrinated into this culture.
We are.
That limits us in a certain capacity.
Yeah, the culture that was given to us, that was forced on us.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get some real cultural understanding and interaction that you're not going to get at a PWI. And I think that we all need that because we are navigating in the blind.
We are, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You will get that, man. But I mean, there's still some drawbacks there, man, because a lot of people that go to HBCUs, you know, they just encounter different challenges. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But HBCUs are a lot harder, man. They're a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? The teachers that challenge you, they go push you. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, because they want you to do well, I think there's a different mission and purpose driving these schools, right? Because they don't have a lot of money, right? They don't have these huge football teams, basketball teams. They have, we have our teams, but you know, a lot of us go to the game and watch the bands. How it was back then. You know, so these schools don't have a lot of money, so it's a different purpose driving them, I think. Right then, when you go to some of these predominantly white institutions, especially these Ivy League colleges and places like that, you know what I'm saying? A lot, but that's not to say that those schools are not good, because they are. They're just, I think that there's a different type of thinking. There's a different mode of thinking going on in these environments. I call them net, right? Because these environments are more accepted in mainstream America. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we have is a result of us being outcasted. And there would be no HBCUs had we been allowed to go to school with them.
Right. You know, and, you know, even when I was going to school, you can tell the difference. Like, I was doing speech communication and business at the same time.
Yeah.
So, speech communication was a lot more free thinking and liberal, right?
Yeah.
But when I would go from that department to the business department, you would see how the business department was real cold, and it just
culture.
It was different.
Yeah, that's every industry, every type of business. It's just gonna be a different environment in banking, then it's gonna be in consulting, then it's gonna be in real estate, insurance, personal.
And so that's how I learned to do business.
You know,
how business is supposed to look based on how they were teaching it.
Yeah.
But now it's like you can control the narrative.
Right. That's what I say, because you setting the standard.
Yeah. So now I'm like, I can wear my hair. Like, I still have people that really want to color their hair. Oh, I love that green hair. I love that blue hair. I love that purple hair. But I could never, because my job wouldn't. So I'm able to be who I am. I'm able to rock whatever color, wear whatever, but my credibility is still there.
But so, it's understandable. I mean, I think a lot of, I don't think that every Nuwaubian person in the country needs to own a business, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
But I think that in our community, period, we need to own businesses, and I don't mean just a barbershop or a beauty salon or what's some other thing, a restaurant or a captive insurance agency, or these are the type of businesses that we own, right? individually, but these are small practices, right? In law firms, we own law firms, right? We have, black law, what I'm saying? But these are very small businesses. We don't have any Walmarts or Amazons in our community when we could have had them we could have them now if we wanted to. We really could. If we could get away from I have to be the boss of everything. I have to run everything, and instead of trying to say, hey, I need to figure out how I can work with this group of people. What's all right to get this common goal?
Shaq is giving us the business. Do you hear me?
Okay, I know y'all need to go. Y'all need to
go. No, we fine. It's him.
Is he standing up?
No, he sleep.
Oh, I can't hear him.
You can't hear him?
Nah, I can't.
Cause he loud.
Yeah.
That's good.
What
people can't hear.
I mean, yeah, Kane Corson?
Yep.
Yeah, he big.
But I think the world is changing, and what we're gonna find is that we're gonna have to depend on ourselves more than we ever have before, and so that's gonna challenge us to build community.
Right.
Why?
We don't have any.
Because we
need institutions, Jamie.
I know, but if you think about, if you get back to the basics, I think we're trying to surpass the basics. And right now we need that foundational understanding. And so right now we're getting to the point where we are being replaced by technology. And so we have to get back to doing things that we're not accustomed to doing, such as gardening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We used to go into the grocery store. We think everything grow at Kroger or Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me.
So now you're gonna have to. Ports are closing. People going on strike.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna be able to get your weed in. So baby girl, you're gonna have to learn how to wear your natural hair and figure it out.
Look.
So we're actually being forced back into ground zero of reevaluating some things.
See, a lot, man. I know people that look at me like that. I know people that think I'm crazy, right? They like, man, dude be on the weirdest, wildest, dumbest shit, right? But I guarantee you, tomorrow, if every grocery store around the country shut down, if every fast food restaurant shut down, all of it. No more McDonald's, no Raising Cane's, no Publix, no HEB, none of it. If all that stuff shut down tomorrow, we'll be good over here.
Could you survive that? And so you have to start learning the basic skills. Because I remember even we were talking about just eating from the trees. When we were in our experiment, we just grab a plum off the tree, we, eat and keep on going.
Yeah.
We need to get back there.
Yeah, we need to, but the thing, but we need to even get past that, because why is it that we have to operate in the reservation instead of in forward motion, right? And what I mean by that is that, of course, because we need to get back to them basics, man. But by now, with the amount of talent that we have in our communities, man, we should be thriving as people.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
But I think going back to the basics will help, because guess what? You can't rely on just you.
Nah.
You need something. I'm gonna need something from Corey. I'm gonna need something from Ryan. I'm gonna need something from Papa. I'm gonna need something from over here. Yeah. That's how they was able to sustain community, because Corey had something I needed. We can't go outside of their dynamic to get it. So now we gotta build a relationship with Corey and his family.
Yeah, it's called specialization.
Corey ain't even that big.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I specialize in this. You specialize in that. This person specializes in something else. As a group, we form an economy.
Correct.
That can provide everything that we need.
But that'll only happen if everything is dismantled, and now I don't have no choice but to rely on.
Well, that's the thing. But we need to be able to operate at that level without being forced into it by tragedy? Why does it take tragedy?
But
where's the prudence in
we
the community?
We talked about that earlier.
Huh?
We talked about that earlier. How pain can birth a lot of stuff.
It does.
Good stuff.
It does, but where's the I mean, okay, and I understand that, right? Because wise people learn from their experiences, right? But truly wise people learn from the experiences of other folks. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Somebody that's really intelligent be like, and it not just saying they just listening to what other people telling them to do. They actually learning from what other people like. I wouldn't do that. Not only would I not do that, I would do the opposite this way. You know? Yeah, nah. So where's the foresight in the community to say that, hey, man, before we even find ourselves in this type of position, why can't we do these things now? Because we can.
Because the village is dilapidated.
Huh?
We got to rebuild. I said the village is dilapidated because we have went astray in so many ways. So the only way to dial back is for it to just blow up. And now it got to be that way.
We've been blowing up for the community been like, boy, it been Armageddon for us for 100-some years now. Maybe not for everybody else, but our community has been experiencing Armageddon. We've been experiencing the end for so long, man. People say that's why now a lot of us be like, oh, okay.
But it's normal.
Yeah,
it's normal because we've experienced this for so long. Yeah. If my back hurt every day, all day, that becomes my normal. So it don't. That's a part of the play.
Yeah.
But if I can break it down just enough to ignite a new thought, a new way of looking at things. And that's why I really target children.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're trying to educate them and teach them.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that. But I mean, irrespective of people's individual beliefs or whatnot, you would think out of sheer survival, right, that we could come together and do something different. You would think so.
Yeah.
Most other people stuff would unite them. Ironically enough, man, remember when September 11th happened? Remember when that happened? Oh,
I was at the last cadet.
Yeah.
Walking to class.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I was on my way up there when it happened. When I got there,
I was coming out of the little, I was going to class. So I had passed the little cafeteria area and they had it on the TV and I was like, what y'all looking at? And everybody was like, oh no.
Because at first everybody
I remember
was accident to the second one.
They thought it was like, nah, this can't be real. This can't be real. And then that second plane hit.
And everybody knew. That's why everybody was like, oh, no, it's really on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on for you. Like, it's really on. Right? And so, but think about it, right? And then think about how they brought the country together. Everybody, right? Temporarily. But the thing is, because you know why? I mean, that's the way the human family is supposed to behave during a time of, calamity like that. That's the way the human species should be behaving during those times, right? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The problem is, I think that what we're experiencing now, and then we're not the dominant culture in this country, right? So the problem, I think the issue between us is that especially when it comes to a melting pot, man, you have people that are naturally from a totally foreign culture to this country. So even though after we've been here experiencing this for all these years, it's still in us. And it's going to always be in us because that's who we are. That's where we come from. Right? You know what I'm saying? You can't take the Africa out of black people in America, man. It never happened. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, we're not them either because we have been bred and groomed and cultivated here in the society over here. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times in a society that was abusive and totally indifferent to our sufferings. You see what I'm saying? Totally.
I agree.
I mean,
that's why I say it's a lot to unpack. It's not going to be an easy fix.
Mm-mm.
And the only thing we could do is start at home. That's the best way I can put it.
Man, why does it feel like just saying? Why does it to me just feel like let's take 50 steps back and start at the beginning again?
Cause look, what it say? Same thing over and over.
Why must we? And see, I have a suspicion around it. The reason why we keep having to start this journey, these journeys over here in America, I have a suspicion around it. You know what I'm saying? Because now we've even got to the point where we're having to fight a fight that's already been won. Now we're having to fight for civil rights and stuff all over again, and these rights have already been won. How do we find out? And that's the crazy thing. And a lot of people I don't know what people, you know what I'm saying? Because we know that the 13th Amendment says that, slavery is outlawed except for this. That's the part that they leave out. We're not that far removed from these things, man. I don't know why people just can't understand this, man, or even understand this situation.
Because who was the teacher?
Yeah, it's the teachers but you can't teach something that you don't know.
Right, but I'm saying we're indoctrinated into this culture. Like, we keep doing the same thing because we keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Actually, yeah.
Like, we going to these schools, we learning the same thing.
Yeah.
It's, just think how far behind just America. We don't even got to talk about us, but just as Americans, how far behind we've gotten.
Think about because
due to our education, the way the education is structured here. You look at other cultures, and you go to China, you go anywhere else, and look at how the kids are learning.
Yeah, but
they're learning about what's going on right now.
Here.
Yeah.
Unless you are schooling your child at home, unless your child's in home school situation there.
Yeah. So you just think about how
your child's education here. You might have a say so in what school they go to. You might have a say so, and people fighting right now to have this whole little say so about whether you should even know about their sexuality, right? Okay, whatever.
Right.
The important thing, I think, the most important thing, and the thing that no one is debating at all, is whether or not you have a say so in their education. You have, what I'm saying? Well, and I guess there is that going on now because they're talking about the books, right? And let me rephrase that. We have no say so in their education, not them.
Yeah, but how far our children are, like, we're not creating nothing new. We don't outsource all of our technology. We outsource all of our labor. We outsource, so much stuff that we are left with nothing.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is correct. So why don't we have schools in our community? I think most other cultures, ethnicities in America, they have schools. We may have a few. A lot of them are probably church-based. But what happened to that Dr. Umar Johnson, Frederick Douglass, and Marcus Garvey School for Young Black Boys?
I saw something on TikTok today that I thought was really dope. This man had an agricultural school. And so he's teaching black kids agriculture. When the Black Rodeo was here, we learned about they have an agricultural program too. She volunteered as well as some of the other kids with Ryan's Hope, and they were learning about the importance of agriculture from our perspective.
See, and it's dope, and we got that in college.
Right.
So Ryan, you already a step ahead on everybody. So are they operating a in-person program or is it online? Or is it just
They have both.
They have both?
But the guy that I saw on TikTok, he had his own school and everything. Like, it was super dope. And he was like, he had so many acres of land. I got 800 this way. I got so many hundreds this way. I was like, that's it right there.
And what is he doing?
He's doing farming and
I'm
gonna pull it up real quick.
Schools there?
Huh? Yeah, he got an area that's just like for middle school and for elementary kids.
That's pretty dope, man. I would like to have a dude on the show. Hey,
I'm gonna find the video because I like the video.
I like that.
I'm gonna find it right now.
People should know about. Because
I was like,
one thing that we should definitely have that we don't have because we have no say so. Because man, think about it, right? If you go to every other country, they have a different version of history than we have.
So I'm sending it to you right now.
Okay.
Check it out.
Got it. Mexico has its own history that they teach their students over there. Right? In the Philippines, they have their own version of history that they teach their students there. In Europe, they have their own version of history. In America, they have their own version of history. In Africa, they have their own version of history. Yeah, I got it. So
yeah, so check that out. But I thought that was really, really dope that he was doing this because kids need to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they need to know that, man. And then plus it's just being in a different, being taught, being educated by someone that that is reflective of you, right? Because even if you have people that look like you teaching in a public school, they're still teaching in a public school environment. So they really can't reflect your culture because it's, it adheres to this mainstream, idealistic version of, history and science and all these things, man. So, it is what it is.
That's why I like that Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducated Negro. It made a lot of sense.
Right.
I have the book.
Absolutely. And it's funny because, Ryan, you know about these things, you're young. A lot of us didn't, I was fortunate to encounter this information when I was 18 years old, but a lot of people are just now learning about this type of stuff just now, right? But, that's definitely not something we learned when we were in high school. We had to, and we were not taught. We weren't taught this in school. So
what? Don't play. Cause I always thought it was strange about the slaves. I'm like, I just can't see a people not trying to rebel. Like, how they tried to paint it like we were just docile slaves and did what we supposed to do. They didn't talk about Nat Turner and what's the they talk about Harriet Tubman. What's the Jamaican guy?
Who, Marcus Garvey?
No, not Marcus Garvey. Bookman. No, wait. Well, yeah, he created ruckus in Jamaica. Like, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't talk. All of these uprisings that slaves had.
But those are islands, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Then they didn't tell you about
situation, man. You good off sheer population. It's different here, man. We was way outnumbered here, and we still had those situations. And then why would they teach about that in school anyway?
Duty Bookman, yeah.
Duty Bookman.
She googled it. I remember Bookman something.
Why would they teach? Yeah. Why would they teach the descendant of these people this information anyway? They don't. They want you to forget about this. They want this to be swept under the rug and forgot about it.
Now they're taking it completely out the curriculum. They don't want you to learn about Harriet, Malcolm, Martin, none of them.
Yeah, man, they vilify these people who are our heroes in a lot of respects, man, because they stood up to oppression in our. It's just crazy. Ironically enough, man, when I get to thinking about that, and I think about some of the crazy stuff that's going on nowadays, the book banning and censorship and all the stuff that's going on, I don't understand how people cannot see the writing on the wall. At this point, how can you not be concerned at this point?
I don't know. You know, they still say we being dramatic, we tripping. It ain't like that. It's the conditioning now.
Yeah.
It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah. Oh well, you know. I mean, it ain't no well, but you know,
it is what it is, and we just gotta try to do the best we can with what we got. There you go.
It's bad. It's bad, man. Come on, you know, I need people, man. Just wake up just a little bit.
It's bad.
Just a little bit. Pay attention just a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just pay attention. Just I mean, just you know, man. We ain't trying to steer you wrong, man. Rock with us just a little bit, man. We trust us, man. We ain't trying to, you know, hey you being you know the outcast of America, man. Just rock with us a little bit, man. We ready to rock. We got everything we need, right, James?
Yep.
We got everything.
Ready to rock.
We got everything we need, man. The whole community, man. We got doctors, lawyers, you know, millionaires.
And I think it's the fear.
Dentists. What else we got? Engineers, contractors, chiropractors.
Everything. But you know, every time we have everything and we build community, what happened?
Oh, for the people that don't know, the reason why I put it on my post on my Facebook page the other day, it was talking about that right there, and that's why I knew somebody was gonna bring it up at some point, right? I knew somebody was gonna bring it up at some point, and that's why I put that out there. And a lot of people probably thought I was talking about myself when I said that, but I wasn't talking about myself. I was referring to that very thing right there, James, because every time I get talking about that, people say, man, every time we build something, they tear it down, right? Every time, right? And that's the reason why. That's the exact reason why I made that post. I knew somebody was gonna bring that up. If you go outside and you find an anthill and you knock that anthill over for 99 days in a row, what's gonna happen on day 100 when you walk outside? The anthill is gonna be there.
Yep.
They have a choice.
Could not remember that name.
What's she say?
She was like, she couldn't believe she couldn't remember their name.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot throughout history.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can say, aha.
We have no choice but to do this. And I'm not even saying like we have to be at odds with the rest of. We don't have to be at odds with America, man. We just got to be in tune with each other.
That part. But there's so many moving parts.
I know, man. There's other ethnicities and stuff. They doing it, man. There's people out here, man. You know, and ironically enough, man, in Canada, man, the First Nations over there, they operate. They got their own constitution, and even Native American groups here have their own, you know, reservations and they have their own constitution and all that stuff. And not even saying that we just. I mean, as a group of people, man, we can organize ourselves a whole lot better, man, than we are. It don't even have to be that, man. It could just be, you know, because we can live in this, and for somebody, look, this is be honest about it. We can live. There could be a city that is predominantly us, right? We can. It used to be like that. It would be predominantly us, and it still be being run by other people. Right now, it's to the point where the city may be predominantly us, and then we're in positions of power, but the city, man, is just going crazy. Crime through the roof. You know, money coming up missing and you know, just all kind of crazy stuff, man.
Yep. But you know, when you talk about savages, you got a savage mentality.
We're not savages, though, man.
No, we're not. By nature, we're not.
That's not savage. Not savage at all. Man, it's slavery.
It's not by nature.
Thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Not savage at all, man. But
hey, baby, you used to be real good to me, and then you broke my heart. I'm here to tell you that I don't need your love no more. Why you breaking my heart? You say you love me, but we're breaking apart. No more loving, loving, while the raindrops come down. No more kissing, no more going downtown. I don't need you, need you, and I don't need your love. Girl, you hurt me, and I've had about enough. The way you make me laugh, the way you make me cry. I used to get so much, but I don't need, no, I don't need your love. Say I don't need, no, I don't need your love. Don't need your love. Say I don't need, no, I don't need your love. Don't need your love. Sugar, you got me feeling kinda low. I used to hold you, 'cause the world is oh so cold. Staring out the window into a sky that never ends. Looking at her picture, she used to be my best friend. She used to rub me on my shoulders, kiss me on my cheek, love me face to face. I used to watch